So that's another thing that we've learned from the Zetas, is where we are, how close Planet X is, and where we are in the progression of things. And if it was a continuum of 1 to 10, and the pole shift is 10, we are at a 7. We're in the 7 right now.
Wow.
What's going to happen very shortly is that South America is going to move about 250 miles to the west, the top part of South America. And that's going to take a lot of the Caribbean islands down with it, and Central America is going to be pretty well bashed up because of that. While the rest of these countries that I just mentioned are going to continue to sink, and pretty much Japan, all of Japan is going under. And then, when big ones start happening, earthquakes in Japan in the southern part, not Fukushima, but the southern part, the next thing in that sequence is the new Madrid fault. And that's, of course, up the Mississippi River. It's going to take, in, Missouri and Arkansas and Illinois and all of those states there. And it's going to literally be flooded. Well, they're flooded now, but this is going to be a huge earthquake. And it's going to split the country almost in half. And the Mississippi River, then, is going to be a good 100 miles wider than it is currently. And it's going to go all the way up to the St. Lawrence Seaway, and the Great Lakes are involved. A lot of the Great Lakes are going to be draining into this huge split in the earth. So if people are around Chicago, they need to be thinking about getting out of there. St. Louis needs to get out of there because that's going to be nothing but water. And that's going to be the first thing that happens in the United States. And then, as soon as that happens, there's going to be a dropping of the Atlantic floor, and a huge tsunami is going to hit Europe. And when it hits Britain, it's going to be about 300 feet high. When it gets to France, it'll be about 200 feet high and on into Europe. So they've been warning people in Europe to get to high ground because there won't be much. Yeah. The royalty and all of the people that are on the inside know this, right? Are they going to underground bunkers and yes,
being built faster than you can flip a pancake?
They've been building them for years, preparing for this. They've known about this. They saw Planet X in 1983 with the IRIS, that was the satellite, what do I want to say, the infrared astronomical satellite, yeah. And they saw it in 1983, so they knew it was inbound. They knew it was real. They've known about it before that because the aliens told them about it. So they've been very busy building these humongous underground places where the elite are planning to go, and they've used our money and our tax money, and they have furnished those, and they've stocked them with food and medicine, and they're very heavily guarded, and we're not invited.
Well, that doesn't sound like a very positive set of people that I'd want to hang out with.
You don't want to be around the Denver area because a lot of them will be underground in Denver, and if you're around there, they'll use you as a slave.
Wow, that's the mysterious Denver Airport underground base, isn't it? Where they're
yes, correct.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Jay Widener talks about that a lot, and of course, it's kind of common knowledge on the net. Now, this is happening to all of us, so I guess they're kind of expecting that we're just going to get washed away and die and the rest of it.
Yeah, it's just going to be up to us to survive if we want to and if we've planned. But the thing of it is, they're not giving us any warning up ahead, up front, so that we can plan. So it's up to us who have found out about this to spread the word. And there are safe places, and people will survive. I think it was the Hopi. The Hopi have said that they expect about 75%, three-quarters of the population, to go into spirit during this. The Zetas are saying probably more like 90%. But
well, that would make sense. That if this truly is a shift into higher frequencies, then this three-dimensional world that we're sharing with so many different levels of being, we really wouldn't have to be too terribly concerned, because if the body dies, we know that we're spirit and we are infinite consciousness. And
absolutely.
if we're raising our frequency, then we'll be reunited with the other elements of the light families, and I would think that would be a reunion of sorts.
I think absolutely, and I do want to stress that there is no death. So we would just be translated into a higher vibration, a higher dimension. Did you remember the movie Cocoon?
Yes, and the one knowing.
And those ETs were from the Antares. And remember when they unzipped their human body, and they were just light on the inside, but they still had the shape. That is so much like how it really is. And that's what we'll be doing. We'll be stepping into our higher body, our light body, our spiritual body. So it's going to be very exciting. But if you want to stay in the physical, and if you want to start from scratch, because it's going to be tremendous upheaval. North is going to be where west is now, and the South Pole is going to be where India is. The North Pole is going to be where Brazil is. So in order for that to happen, this planet is going to have to be doing a lot of rocking and rolling, and that's what we're headed into now. We're in a pretty severe wobble right at the present time. I don't know if you've noticed it, but have you been watching the sun or the moon?
Probably not as closely as I should because of the chemtrails.
Oh yeah, and that's one reason for the chemtrails, so we can't see what's going on. Yeah. But they're coming up in all different places, in great degrees different from one night to the next. So start watching; it's very interesting, and that's showing us how much the planet is bobbling back and forth. It's literally being hosed by the North Pole of Planet X as it's coming toward us. So is Comet Ellen that they're talking about? Is that a potential? Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. This is something. Now, don't believe a word NASA tells you about anything. NASA does nothing but lie, and they've been lying about everything. And right now they're having a hard time keeping Planet X covered up because it's showing up on everything now. So they want you to look for something else. Look now for this comet Ellen that is nothing more than a small comet. It's not even worth the time of day. But they want you to be focused on something else. They want you to be looking in another area of the sky, thinking about different dates, so that when that comes and goes and nothing happens, you'll think, oh, well, I have nothing to worry about now. That's what they were talking about all these years and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And here's this elephant in the room that's staring us right in the face.
Right.
So it's all been lies, and don't believe anything NASA puts out.
I've heard
that
they stand for never a straight answer. I think Richard Hoagland said that.
Yes, I think that's very, very true.
Yeah. So go on. You said you wanted to...
I want to talk a little bit about preparation for this, because the time is getting very short. And people really need to be considering how they're going to do this, how they're going to either ride it out or what plans they want to make. And I think the most important preparations are spiritual. I think that the first thing we need to do is seek our own inner spiritual guidance. However way you believe or however way you think about that, that is going to be the most important thing. Make peace with your own God. Get quiet and get centered, because all of us have spiritual guides and angels surrounding us, and they are pledged to see us through this. You know, we're really being rock stars down here because we're here, and everybody wants to see what's going to happen and how are we going to handle it. So we have a lot of help. We really do. And they're going to be giving us information, and they're going to be giving it in the way of an urging or an intuition, your gut level feeling. So if you get quiet, and if you feel like you should move, if you feel like you should quit your job, if you feel like you should stock up on things, then do it, because they're telling you that that's what you need to do. And at least now you know what's coming, so you can use this time to tell your loved ones how much you love them. And
absolutely.
To ask for forgiveness if you need to do that, and also to forgive if it's necessary. So time is very short, and some of the survival basics are to stock up on food and water and medical supplies. You want to locate out of the cities, because they're just going to become death traps.
Oh yeah.
If you're near the ocean or large bodies of water, you want to move 100 miles inland or away from that. You also want to be a good number of miles away from the volcanoes, because they're telling us that every volcano that's gone off in the last the last 10,000 years is going to go off when the pole shifts.
Right.
So you want to be upwind, or let's see, you want to be opposite of the way the wind is blowing. So is that upwind or downwind?
I don't know.
You don't want that ash blowing in your yard anyway. You want to get as far away from that as you can. And you want to go to a higher elevation if possible, because after the pole shift, the oceans and the water level is going to be about 675 feet higher than it is now. Okay? So and just plan for a camper's life. You know, having a tent is good. Having ways to distill your water is going to be extremely important. So
now, a question for you: do the Zetas or any of your contacts give you any intimations as to the timing of all this? Is 2012 a kind of nexus point, or a point where the
yeah, that's a pretty good measuring point. I think when they saw that so far back, 2012, they've come very close. It's possible this could happen before.
Okay.
So that's why I want people to get busy preparing now. Because once these things really get going, and they're in the process now, and at some point they're going to speed up, then it's not going to be long before the planet it's here now. We're taking pictures of it. Pictures are coming in from all over the world, and if you can get a good spot, a high elevation, at sunrise and at sunset, start watching with filters, because the sun is so bright. And the reason it's so bright is because it's reflecting off another planet also, Planet X. So you've got two suns. You've got two suns coming up and two suns going down. During the course of the day, it's pretty much lost in the glare of the sun. And you're looking for it at the 4 to 5 o'clock position on the disk sun. It's in front of the sun and off to the lower right.
Okay.
If you're in the southern hemisphere, it'll be between